Oh, this was still active. It was active during his turn. I get it. He had already done the detaining. Oh, all the things that I cycled are finally coming back. That's great. All the cards that I know are not good. All... That's great. That's wonderful. I'm never getting anywhere here. My last two cards are opts. My last card, the only card remaining in my deck, is an opt. Alright, this farce can end. Okay, so the lesson to take away from here is Commit to Memory is a good card, and we should have at least one in the deck. So let's put at least one Commit to Memory in the deck, so that, in the future, we don't run into this exact situation again. We still have a bunch of garbage in here that we can take out. I feel like Never to Return is cute, but not necessarily good, given that Vraska's Contempt is probably just better. And Scarab God, on the whole, is going to be our tool to get rid of things that we don't want in their graveyard. So let's not worry about that. And then we can get, what was it? Commit. Including cards I don't own, please. Let's add one to the deck. Exactly one Commit to Memory is probably correct. And it's another counterspell. Maybe we should have more negates, by the way. As long as we're looking at it. Like, the decks that we lose to are not the aggressive decks, right? The decks that we lose to are the decks that out-control. The decks that deal with our threats, and then now we're left with no ways to win the game. So, we need ways to deal with things that deal with our threats, which is almost entirely negate. Negate and cancel. So more negates feels like a good idea. Maybe more cancels is correct. Mana doesn't usually seem to be that much of a problem. Maybe cancel's a better idea than negate because it can also be used against, you know, things that we hate. Other things that we hate. Things that are not non-creature spells. I.e. creature spells. If I'm adding 2 more cancels, what am I getting rid of? I do want to keep the Chupacabras. In fact, I should probably have more Chupacabras, to be honest. I would be... Like, I still really like Doomfall. Cryptic Serpent is the obvious cut. But then we're even lighter on threats. And that feels problematic to me as well. Do I have another Rivulet, actually, now that I think about it? Rivulet is also a good answer to control decks. It's only uncommon. I can add that. That's fine. I can cut a Swamp and add a Rivulet. That feels fine. Go, wild cards, go! More Rivulets, yeah. Yeah, I like Rivulet. And then I think Dunes of the Dead is actually probably still a good include. I have now multiple ways to sacrifice deserts. Cool. I don't think I want to cut a Cryptic Serpent because I like having threats, and really these are just placeholders for additional Scarab Gods. So as I get more Scarab Gods, I will replace Cryptic Serpents. In the meantime, what can